Greetings, Padawans, and welcome to the Archives. Here to unlock this holocron is the man of the hour, Jedi Master AlsoTeeko.
Bosha, and welcome back, everybody, to Season 2 of the Archives podcast. Tonight we are joined by myself, Fred, and MJ. Appreciate you boys for being here. Season 2 of the Archives. We are in episode 20, and we are ready to rumble. First and foremost, how are you boys doing tonight?
Chillin'.
Utini.
Utini indeed. Utini indeed. And if you guys are all feeling Utini, and if you guys are excited for this season of the Archives podcast, head over to our Twitter at Star Wars TAP, and we're going to be doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway, a Star Wars Funko Pop of your choice of the latest set that was released. All you have to do is retweet, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, whatever platform you're on, and we'll be ready to rumble. Check us out at Star Wars TAP. And of course, you can always drop a like, subscribe, and leave us a review on whatever podcast platform that you are on. So, without further ado, let's get right into today's podcast. Now, first and foremost, lads, we're going to start out with a nice little icebreaker. And we're going to start out talking about some cheeky little fan fictions. I have curated 3 topics for us, and I will let Fred have first pick of the following. Number 1, what if Mace Windu defeated Palpatine? What if Ahsoka confronted Anakin at Mustafar? And what if Padme survived childbirth? Now, with those questions, just give me like a few sentences, a few paragraphs, what you think would happen if either of those happened.
Okay, well, the one that I want to tackle first of all, because it's the one that's more interesting to me, is what if Mace Windu defeated Palpatine, you know?
Okay.
Like, in a world where Mace Windu defeats Palpatine, like, what do you think would happen, you know? Like, would Mace, like, be scolded by the Jedi Council for this, you know, because he murdered him without even having a trial? Would there have been an exception because they were in times of war and essentially this evil force would kind of take over the world, you know?
Mm.
How would it have affected Anakin, seeing Palpatine die, you know?
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting because, like, he would see Palpatine die, and then he would think, like, oh, well, the only hope I had left to save Padme is gone. Like, would he have still turned to the dark side? Would he have, like, waited it out and seen, like, okay, well, Padme's not actually dying. Like, these are all just lies put in my head, basically, that she was gonna die if Palpatine didn't help me, you know? Like, it's interesting to think.
Yeah, and the tricky part is, like, you have to separate Palpatine from Sidious for a second.
Yeah.
Because outside looking in, people only know him as Chancellor Palpatine. Nobody knows him as Darth Sidious, and for Windu to kill Palpatine,
yeah,
it's kind of like it's tricky to say, but it's kind of like a top general in, like, the Marine Corps killing the president, where the general might know that the president is working for, like, a terrorist organization or something, but everyone else doesn't know that. So without those facts, without that evidence, like, Mace Windu is probably getting arrested.
Yeah.
The other thing that's tricky is Anakin is there, right? Anakin says, you can't kill him, I need him. So what's going to happen with Anakin afterwards as well?
He would have had to clap Anakin and then defeat Palpatine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if he defeats Palpatine, I think Anakin's gonna want to fight him, or at least I think that there's conflict there as well.
Yeah, it's also interesting because like the whole while that's happening, remember Order 66 is still going on, you know. So like all these Jedi's are being murdered by clones, and they have no idea why they're being murdered by these clones.
Or not
you know?
yet. It hasn't happened yet. The order hasn't been instituted yet.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't happen until after.
Yeah. After Bro gets cooked.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, they could have prevented Order 66 if he had killed Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think socially though, the Jedi still get ostracized.
Yeah, probably.
Mace Windu. Well, it's really.
I mean, if they're presenting the facts, then it's a case closed. But honestly, yeah, it's a saying said in the Clone Wars, which also parallels to real life. You know, it's the words of a senator can literally sway millions. I mean, compared to what a Jedi can do, they have to use the Force to mind trick to sway people's, mentality and such and such. So, I mean, basically, Palpatine had a grip on the people more so than the Jedi themselves at that point in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So if Mace Windu didn't have the facts, he was cooked.
There is one underlying fact that we're forgetting, is that Palpatine, even though he lost his primary lightsaber out the window, he always had two on him.
Yeah.
So there's still a red lightsaber up his sleeve. So it really depends. It's really hearsay with Mace Windu and whoever is the prosecuting attorney in the courts. Regardless, though, Mace Windu's getting arrested. I think Anakin is. He's the key witness there too. Like Anakin can come forward and say he confided all this stuff in me. He told me he was the Sith Lord. I went and told Windu. We confronted him. We defeated him. With that, with Anakin's notoriety as well, Windu I think would get off. But it really depends if Anakin then confronts Windu after he defeats Palpatine. So that's an interesting one because it can branch out into different places, you know.
I don't think Anakin would have tried to kill Windu. The only reason I think that is because he was the one telling Windu in the first place to bring Palpatine and he must stand trial. So I feel like he would then become a hypocrite if he also then killed Windu for killing Palpatine. You know?
Correct, yeah. That's a good point. So MJ, which would you like to tackle? What if Ahsoka confronted Anakin and Mustafar, or what if Padme survived childbirth?
Ahsoka confronting Anakin on Mustafar definitely is a hot topic, but
now you have to remember the context. She's in the same ship. She comes with Padme,
right? And Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are like stashed away.
In this scenario, Obi-Wan goes to Mandalore. So Obi-Wan's on Mandalore. He's fighting Maul, and Ahsoka goes to Mustafar with Padme. So they're just like for like swapping places.
So I mean, I guess to keep it brief and just straight to the point, if Ahsoka confronted Anakin, I envision that same battle, except it's vice versa, where Ahsoka loses her limbs, in my opinion, because she doesn't win in that battle, and I don't think she brings him to the light. Only his son was able to do that, in my opinion. But the battle would be, I wouldn't necessarily say choreographically, like it would be the same, but I think it would be more agile, like, you know, because it's so. But it definitely will be a wild battle to see.
I mean, that's probably prime Ahsoka, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's with them two. I don't know if it even gets to blows. I don't know if it gets to that point.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, to be honest. Because, like, if you really think about it, the main reason why Anakin and Kenobi started fighting is because Anakin was like, "Oh, you're trying to steal Padme. You turned her against me." You know, if
Hmm.
Ahsoka had come, I feel like it wouldn't have been the same. You know.
Yeah, because you have to remember, like, not not to sound sexist or anything, but like, she is a female, so she's going to be much more delicate with a situation than Kenobi was. Um, especially with Padme there, like, there's such a tight knit group. Like, that's Anakin's apprentice as well. Like, I don't know if I really don't know if they end up fighting, genuinely. I think she probably talks him down, if anything, and just makes more sense of the situation. Because they have a lot in common. They both wanted to leave the Jedi Order.
Yeah. I think
Where,
Ahsoka and Padme talk him down the ledge, you know, and then he goes to court.
Yeah, no, they would end up fighting because remember the conversation between him and Obi-Wan was if you're not with me, then you're against me. So you got to think of that same conversation in that same scenario. You know, I think he will try to bring Ahsoka to the dark and she will refuse and they do fight.
I think Ahsoka would always be with Anakin, though. Anakin, not Vader, but Anakin. Like, and I think she'd make a lot more sense of it. Genuinely. Because all she wanted was for Anakin to be okay. Like, especially in the tail end of season 7 of Clone Wars, all she wanted was Anakin to be okay. And I think her and Padme together, if Anakin doesn't see Obi-Wan, he doesn't force choke Padme. That doesn't happen.
I still think he does it. It's just the way that how the author writes it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now we're just envisioning it just in the cold turkey scenario.
Yeah.
Will he or she not or do not? But it's however the author writes it. You know what I mean? Like yeah. But this is a what if series, so like this is right now we're in like the brain meeting room right now for like what if Ahsoka confronts it, you know, like all these millions of ideas could happen.
Oh, of course, all of them could. Yeah.
Actually,
I'm just trying to
during
think.
during the with the Rebels series, right? When Ahsoka confronts Vader for the first time, didn't he say that nothing that she would have done would have convinced him otherwise? And that's how she like came to the conclusion that like her confronting Anakin back then wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan had the same realization in Kenobi.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he was so far gone in Revenge of the Sith that Darth Vader took control. It was done for Anakin.
I think as soon as Mace like died, that was like it. That was like the catalyst that just kind of like pushed it forward. There's no coming back from this. I murdered a Jedi Master for you. You know, like we're riding or dying basically at this point.
Yeah.
Ride or die.
And that's why I put these in chronological order too. Like if you notice, first it's what if Mace defeated Palpatine, then it's what if Ahsoka confronted Anakin. Now it's what if Padme. Then everything happens, but what if she survives childbirth? This one's a really tricky one. I think she would probably go into hiding with the kids.
Yeah, the problem with her childbirth though is that like she didn't die from childbirth, she died from grief.
Yeah.
She was so distraught that Anakin had turned to the dark side that she died.
Yeah.
Well, mixed with childbirth, you know, it's not a healthy combo.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah, but yeah, like she had given birth to the kids and then she died because of the grief, you know. So like she was passed down there like she's fine health wise, she just won't wake up.
Yeah,
Anakin, you know.
The issue is Anakin could he could sense Padme from however far away. Like he could sense. That's how. Because he even said like, "You're lying. I felt it. She was all right." ultimately, I think Palpatine killed her. That's what I think. I think that was always the plan as well. To kill off anything so just I can have my slave. But if she survived, I think she goes into hiding. I think that's an easy one. And Obi-Wan still looks after them. Maybe she gets a little Stockholm-y, falls in love with Obi-Wan. But at the end of the day, like, she was dying saying that there was still good in Anakin, so maybe she pursues that. It's tough.
Yeah, I think any world where Padme survives, she's like spending her life like trying to get Anakin back.
Yeah. And I think at that rate, Palpatine would then just kill her.
Yeah.
And then take the kids, kill Anakin, and then raise the kids as Sith, you know? Man, Palpatine's crazy. Palpatine is crazy. But
could you imagine like a Sith Leia, dude? That'd be crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's super possible to the point where Luke could even imagine it. Because in episode 6, you know, when Vader's talking about turning Leia to the dark side, like, Luke's like, nah, you're not fucking doing that. And he goes crazy.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it, but I wouldn't want to. But that's why I love these fan fictions, man, because they can literally go anywhere. And I do have a Mace Windu related one dropping soon that I'm pretty excited for. But moving on to the next. When it comes to like
Sith as well, don't they make like, if it's twins, don't they make them fight to see which one's stronger, and then like the winner comes out? Yeah, so
even
Luke would have had to fight like. They'd have grown up like as siblings, but also as enemies, basically.
Even more diabolical. But moving on to the next segment. This is the Squiggo sector. And Fred and MJ, I mean, you guys are the masterminds of Squiggo. So what's been going on in Gwiggo? How are you guys feeling? Anything you're looking forward to? Just take it away.
As far as like Squiggo relations go, I haven't really been keeping up that much as of late. I know that obviously there's like new characters in the game. That Bo-Katan came out, right, MJ?
Yeah, a few new characters. Bo-Katan and Darth Bane.
Is that Bo any good?
Yeah, she's destructive.
I watched somebody like undersized JMK with Bo, so
yeah, same.
That was crazy.
Undersized JMK?
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know, that's Jedi Master Kenobi.
Yep.
It's a very acronymical game.
Yeah, saying Jedi Master Kenobi is just like a pain. And obviously you can't say Kenobi because there's like 4 different Kenobis, so.
I've always been anti-acronyms personally, but that's just me. I love saying the whole names of people, especially on stream. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a slow point in the game. We are getting to the new year where hopefully we're gonna get some information of what's to come moving on out. But yeah, I would say it's at a good point in the game as well. It's at a good point. I just finished my Rey, which I was hyped to do, and then
Sure.
Yeah, just feeling really happy, feeling real good.
I just broke 11 mil GP, and I just took Kylo Ren on Mass to Relic 9 and Jabba to Relic 9.
Jesus. We'll take that. Obviously, I just got my Rey to R8, my first R8, Wara.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where I'm at. I'm basically just working on JML at the moment, Jedi Master Luke. Almost done with his Rex. I've got like, I think 10 more relic levels, and I'm done. So.
That's pretty cool.
And it's all about, yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then moving into the news, not much news has dropped for Star Wars. But something very dope dropped last night that MJ was sure to ping me about, and that was the Clone Wars Battle of the Heroes from episode 3. And that was really cool. So just a broader question. Do you think it's important for IPs and games and movies and TV shows and genres to have such strong fan bases that insert their own creativity into things, such as like fan fictions or fan films or fan art, stuff like that?
I'm gonna say yes. The reason I say this is because like a lot of fans drive franchises in the first place. Obviously, they don't have their own direct input. They definitely do contribute, and I think this one really like seals it for me. You guys know about Sam Witwer and how he's like one of the like Star Wars like legends essentially.
My goat.
Yep.
Sam, if you're watching this, we would love to have you on the Archives podcast, man.
Dude, it would be an honor, genuinely.
100%.
Yeah, he just the fact that like he himself grew up as like a big Star Wars fan, and then he got to the point where he can voice act in like Star Wars like cartoons and like Star Wars games and stuff, and it even got to the point where he corrected Dave Filoni on like certain like the fact that Padme had met Anakin's mom.
Yeah.
Like that to me just like shows that like fandom is really important in the series. Because like fans help make the shows and movies and stuff better.
Definitely.
With their creative input. Yeah.
Definitely.
So.
Even as far as like being involved with it, right? I think it's important for fans to speak up, and the main issue with fans speaking up is oftentimes like it's just like the comment section. Negativity is going to outweigh the positivity, even if it's 90-10, 85-15, 95-5. Like, you're always going to notice the negativity first, and it sucks that negativity is what sells nowadays. It's what looks sexy. It's what looks good. But the thing that I think is most crucial is constructive feedback, because
yeah, for sure.
Given that there's a plethora of people that can always give negative feedback and nitpick and stuff like that, there's always going to be people that are going to want the most from a series, and they want to see certain things from a series. And what I relate it to is like when we used to watch wrestling, all the fantasy booking that would happen. And people would fantasy book things to the absolute death, but then when those things wouldn't happen, or things would happen a certain way, or people were spreading rumors that this was going to happen, this, that, the other, and looking up spoilers and stuff, and those spoilers didn't happen, they then got mad at the company. And it's like, how can you get mad at someone for something that they literally didn't do? And it was like the Reva stuff. People saw that Reva was going to have a big role in the Kenobi show before it even came out. And people were pissed about it. Then it happened, and people were still pissed about it. And it's like, well, you looked it up. You knew what was going to happen. Why didn't you prepare yourself? So
I think it was more so the fact she was stabbed twice and is still kicking.
Yeah, but she ended up joining the Tuskens, so it's all good. I love Tusken Warrior Reva. It's my favorite character. But I just wish that people would be more constructive and be like, hey, we're not vibing with this character. This is why. let us get some more from our favorite characters.
Yeah.
And I think that's more important to do than it is to just constantly hate and nitpick things. Like, you hate the sequels, you hate Rey Skywalker. Awesome. What do you like? Let us know what you like so we can then do what you like. But right now, they just like to hate. So
people
nothing really gets done.
They won't tell you what the right thing to do is, you know?
No, and the things that they want are just... It takes a long time, and it's unproductive, and it's unrealistic. And you just want to see... You want to see things like the Old Republic. You want to see things like Order 66 and Clone Wars content.
Yeah.
And when it boils down to it, they are interested in telling stories that are gonna add to the brand, not just soak up more juice in a certain brand. And I do get that from a story point of view, but you know, I'm a huge just 1 through 6 fan, and I've been clamoring for a Clone Wars type show for the Galactic Civil War. So between like episodes 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, I feel like that would be the most important, the most impactful series that you could get.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff between those movies that we have no idea what happened. So.
We have a mailbag question coming up later, talking about like taking an EU story and seeing it explored in a series. But for me, if you just gave me an animated like Clone Wars style Luke Skywalker show, I would love that. And I hope that they genuinely just back into the animation more than the live action stuff, because A, it's cheaper, it's easier to produce, and it's been better. I had a comment on my reaction video today, like the Clone Wars edit of Battle of the Heroes was better than anything that Disney did, and it puts him to shame. But like, when you remember the context, Lucasfilm in the past 3-4 years has put out all of Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Clone Wars Season 7. Literally all of that has been goated material.
Yeah.
All of it's animated, you know? I think where people start to nitpick is when it comes to live action. I'm not necessarily begging for more live action Star Wars. I'm really just begging for good Star Wars. And if that needs to be animated, feel free. Like, so I guess my question that I'm trying to pose is, would you guys be offended or upset or disgruntled if we got new series, but they happen to be animated?
No,
I'm fine with it.
Honestly, I love animation. You know me, I'm like a big anime guy. I love anime. One of the reasons that I love anime so much is because like there's a lot of things like in like live action that you just can't do, but you can easily do in animation to make it look good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier to choreograph a drawn fight than there is to have actors like practice for months on end to be good at like lightsaber duels and stuff, you know? It's so much easier. You can make some really good animated, you know? Like seeing live action's awesome, right? You know? Seeing what you love come to life. But like animation is also like a big part of like just like culture in itself, you know. When we got like the anime Star Wars series, what was it called again?
Visions.
Visions, yeah. When we got Visions, bro, that was awesome to see because like I watch anime and I got to see like a lot of different art styles. Like Kill la Kill is an anime. We got to see that art style.
Yeah.
You know, we got to see a lot of different art styles. We got to see a lot of different like interpretations. Obviously, a lot of the stories were Jedi heavy, but that is Star Wars in its essence. And we'll forgive the season 1 guys because like obviously the season 1 guys, they wanted to get theirs mass produced, so they came up with like the most in touch Star Wars story they could think of, so Jedi.
Yep.
Jedi lightsabers, like whatever they could think of.
I love that Ronin story of the ex-Sith who went around collecting Sith kyber crystals. That was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know me, like I'm not a big fan of Japanese animated cartoons, but that
seeing the culture clash, right? It kind of woke you up a little bit, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 100%. And what it made me just realize is that cartoons or animation is so much easier to digest than live action is, because live action, it's always shot a certain way, it's always filmed a certain way, whereas animation, you kind of have unlimited boundaries, you have unlimited camera angles, you can do things that you can't do in live action. And I would heavily support another sick animated show. And I think with Bad Batch coming to a close, there's room. Rebels is over, Clone Wars is over, Bad Batch is about to be over. Like, something needs to take the mantle of the animated show, because you have to appeal to your fan base that loves animation, and they have this entire studio. So I think within the next 3-4 years, we might get an announcement for a new animated type show. And if you look at it, like, Clone Wars was obviously the prequel era, Resistance was the sequel era, Rebels was like the intermediary, where you got a little bit of both, but it leaned, I wouldn't even say like original trilogy, I would just say it leaned closer to A New Hope than anything. But we haven't gotten any kind of context series for the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And I would love a nice context, especially with everything going on, like the bounty hunters, the Civil War, the Rebellion, the Empire, Luke, Leia, Han. If you're really smart, you do between 4 and 5, so that you can see Han Solo as well. And then you can do later series. You can do between 4 and 5, and then you could do another season where it's 5 and 6,
Yeah.
Anything to add more context, because right now we're going into post episode 6, going into 7 with all the live action shows. So I think it'd be smart to give more context of the universe that we're kind of coming out of, and giving more ideas and understanding for the universe that we're going into. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're always trying to like tie in like the old episodes to like the modern shows and stuff like that, so it just makes sense. Like, obviously Mark Hamill, super old now, Carrie Fisher, we don't talk about what happened here,
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
And that's then, also another really cool thing too with those kind of people. Just like in Clone Wars, you don't need those actors, because no one voiced their character in Clone Wars except C-3PO.
Yeah.
So that's another really smart and easy thing to do. And you need to remember, we love these characters. There's not a single person out there that has any kind of hatred or disinterest in Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. As long as you get someone that does the role justice, this is also like a chance to like introduce new actors as well to the Star Wars like universe,
Yeah.
Like I go back to Sam Witwer, Sam Witwer gets introduced into Star Wars. Everyone loves him as Maul. Everyone loves him as Star Killer, Even when he voiced Palpatine, like,
he's a sick Palpatine.
Yeah, exactly. when you get these kind of actors who are also passionate about the series, you get them involved. You know, like let's say the voice actor for Luke is like really into Star Wars. You know, he'll do his best to like voice the role, and then you can maybe introduce him as like another character later on. You know, in a new like Star Wars movie that you do. So. It's like, oh yeah, the guy that voiced Luke Skywalker in the animated series, he's gonna be in the new movie. You know, he's gonna be on Rey's Jedi Council. It's gonna be sick. It's like, hell yeah.
I'm looking it up right now to who did Luke Skywalker in Battlefront 2. Okay. So I was making sure it wasn't like AI, but
yeah,
that guy sounded great and he could take the role on. You know.
Yeah, together, man.
You still have Billy D. Williams about. He could do the voice as well. Like, man, how do you feel about that, MJ? Like, if they drop Star Wars: The Civil War, and it was a Clone Wars, but for between 4 and 5 and 5 and 6.
I think it's long overdue, in my opinion.
Bro, you can even add characters like Dash Rendar, Kyle Katarn,
Yep.
Mara Jade. Like, Mara Jade can be the Ahsoka Tano, where she's not mentioned in the movies, but she's there and you know that she's there and you know that she's present. You can add things in like Zizor and all the crime lords and stuff. Like, there's so much, and this would make billions of dollars. Billions with a B. It would be so cool, man. New action figures. Star Wars would be fucking cool again. Toys, the lot. Like, you can do something with that, and I really hope that they do. I really hope that they do. Taking us from there and kind of sticking in the same realm with our character spotlight this week, we're talking about Han Solo. He's the cover boy. He's the thumbnail character. And if you guys want to recommend a character for next week, let us know in the comment section below, and we will sort you guys out. First come, first serve. And whoever has the most likes on a comment with a character wins. So with Han Solo, folks.
Sorry, I was gonna say also, don't forget to like any questions you have, any concerns, anything you want us to talk about on the podcast. Feel free to put it in the comments.
100%.
Because we love seeing you guys talk about that. You know, like we love just kind of taking that and then putting it into the show. You know, so just like feel free.
Yeah, and hit us up on Twitter at Star Wars TAP, on Instagram at Star Wars TAP, or across my personal channels at AlsoTeeko, MJ's personal channels at It's Mary J, Fred's personals at It's Your Boy Freed. All links are in the description. Hit us up, have fun, join the Discords, get the conversation rolling. And with season 2, I am gonna start the Archives podcast Discord for the fans, so you guys can directly hit us with comments, directly talk about Star Wars with us. It's gonna be really fun. So with that all being said, Han Solo, he's a character that got introduced to us in the first movie in 1977. He's been in what, episode 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. He also has his own standalone movie. How do you guys feel about our boy Han Solo? And if you could talk a little bit about his character, what you like, what you dislike, and why.
Yeah, as far as Han Solo goes, he's like a staple of Star Wars. I remember, like, obviously when I was a kid, I didn't really watch Star Wars like that, but, like, if you told me who Han Solo, like, if you said Han Solo, I'd know who that is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, that's the guy from Star Wars, anyway, yeah. Like, he's such a staple in the series. I don't think I can really say anything bad about him. He's just such a good character, like, as far as, like, negatives, I feel like he didn't really have any, you know? Like, he was, like, confident, you know, he was really, like, helpful to the rebels.
He's a scruffy looking nerf herder, man.
What
He's
I
low to the side.
what I really liked about him is that he had the stereotype to be the like good looking douche, right? And he had every reason in the world not to help the rebellion, but he did it, and he did so. So that's why I really like Han, and because he kind of reminds us of the everyman. Like, he doesn't have the Force, he doesn't have magical mystical powers, but he was able to still become one of the most famous people in the rebellion and one of the more crucial people in the rebellion. That's pretty cool. And he's just an everyman.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you like about Han Solo MJ other than his shoot first mechanic in Galaxy of Heroes?
Big young Han Solo fan, MJ is, you know.
I do like.
Sorry, dealing with kids.
Oh, you're good, man.
I'm in the minority, you know, that enjoyed Han Solo, the young Solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that movie. Yeah, not a lot of people did, but it was actually a really good movie.
I loved it. Genuinely. I thought the actor who played Han did such a good job.
Yeah, that's another example of like Star Wars just incorporating new actors into, you know, similar roles. The only thing that is like, because it's live action, like now you can't be like, oh well, have him play like another character, because everyone's gonna be like, well, that's young Han Solo, so why is he playing this character? You know, which kind of sucks, but
Yeah, that's a statement that I said back with Cara Dune. You know what I mean? Like Gina Carano.
yeah, okay.
When she steps foot into the Star Wars universe, she solidified her role as Cara Dune. It's just crazy to think about in the Star Wars universe. One foot, and that's you.
Funny thing about Cara Dune as well. I had a dream last night, not last night, 2 nights ago, that she was back in Star Wars, and no one was really upset about it. Everyone was pretty chill about it.
I feel like there's always going to be those fans that'll be upset about it.
100%.
You know?
It's the overnight activists.
You can't have her also be this character. She's Cara. She's Cara Dune. My immersion's ruined, dude.
To be fair, they never killed her off. They just said that she's over here doing this, and I think that was probably to gauge our reaction to it, but no one cared, you know. But if you guys have a character you guys want us to talk about next week, definitely let us know in the comments. Our last segment before the mailbag is presented by Kim's Picks on Twitter. If you guys need any Gamba advice or personally selected picks, hit up Kim's Picks on Twitter, and he's got you. He's got a VIP that is $15 per night and a very good price for some very good picks. This is Nuclear Hot Takes from Kim's Picks on Twitter. Essentially, boys, because I don't think you guys have done this before. We've done it a few times. Nuclear hot takes. So if you have any hot takes for Star Wars, it could be a troll, it could be a bait, but if you have any hot takes that you think is a wild opinion, that you have a unpopular opinion, you know that meme where like everyone's pointing swords at the guy and he's just chilling, that kind of take. And I'll start us off with, I believe that Rey Skywalker is the most powerful Jedi in the episodic saga. I believe
How dare you?
Yeah, I believe that Rey Skywalker is the most powerful Jedi in episodes 1 through 9.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of like points that back that though. I mean, just the fact that she said that she's all the Jedi, you know? And you subtract the combination of all the Jedi coming together to beat Palpatine, then she has to be the strongest force in the entire series.
Yeah, and ultimately she brought balance to the Force and was adopted into the Skywalker family. For a reason, you know? for a reason. She equivocally ended the Sith. Now, I'm sure there's a contingency plan. I'm sure Palpatine was training somebody when he was on Exegol. Like, he wasn't just sitting there. But I believe that she wholeheartedly ended the Sith. And I'm really excited to see where they go with this upcoming movie. Because we're a few years after that. I want to see what the galaxy's looking like. I want to see what the vibe is. What's up with the Jedi, you know? I'm super excited for this one. How you guys feel about that? I know if Judah was here, he'd be spewing hate.
Yeah. He'd probably be like, yeah, dude, Rey's, trash, dude. Yeah. But,
100%.
like I said, you know, like, there's some valid points that point towards Rey actually being the strongest Jedi, you know? Specifically, like I said, she's all the Jedi. If she is all the Jedi, that means she's a combination of all of the fallen Jedi who have come together to try and stop Palpatine from basically destroying the world, the galaxy. So, you know, she has to be the strongest, or at least one of the strongest. Yeah.
Has to be. Are you a Rey truther or are you a Rey hater, MJ? It's hard to read you. I feel like your opinions could go anywhere.
He's a Shin Hati truther, dude.
Oh, who's not? Who's not? Not mad about it in the slightest.
He's a Shin Hati.
Shin's another one. Like Shin and Balin, I do want to know more about. And
yeah,
with the series, you can always do a little bit about Balin. In that series, is just like a little offshoot. Like this is what Balin's also doing.
We could get animated Balin, bro. You know,
that would be perfect. Yeah,
get a voice actor for him.
And I think that's probably the best way to do it. To do like a Tales of the Jedi for Balin.
Yep.
That'd be fire.
Yep.
Do you have any hot takes, Fred? Like, give me your most buck wild take. Most buck wild.
I don't have a lot of buck wild ones. I think my hottest take is probably like
something that you think I disagree with.
That you disagree with. I know a lot of people disagree with like the fact that like so you know how a lot of people want Starkiller to be canon, right?
Yeah.
But they don't want him to be as powerful as he is in the games.
Yeah.
I think the opposite. I think he needs to be that powerful.
God damn it, I think that too. You bastard.
Yeah, see?
I think that too, because it makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Why does he have to be quote unquote nerfed just because he can pick
Darth
people
Vader
up?
He saw that Darth Vader saw to take him as a pupil, bro. If Darth Vader thinks he is that good enough that he should be his pupil, he has to be that strong.
Fred's statement was, do you want to re-say it, Fred, for MJ?
I think that that Starkiller has to be as strong as he is in the games. He should not get nerfed if he becomes canon.
I feel the same.
God damn it.
That's not that hard of a take, but there are a lot of people that think otherwise, you know? So.
Do you have any takes, MJ, that you think that we would disagree with? Anything buck wild?
Yeah,
anything,
I'll come back to that.
Anything dumb? Because one take that I have is that I don't think Jango Fett was him, like everyone else thinks. I don't think Jango Fett was that guy. I've heard all these stories. I've heard all the fiction. I've heard legends that, Jango is this, that, the other. When it came down to brass tacks, he couldn't kill Kenobi. He froze, you know, when the spotlight was on him. And Geonosis in the arena, face to face with Mace Windu. Spotlight was on him. 3-1 lead. It's now game 7. 89-89, guarded by Kevin Love. He couldn't make the bucket. He couldn't make the bucket.
I mean, I have a hot take.
What's that?
Palpatine let Mace win. I actually don't even know. Like, to the actual Star Wars nerds that know, it's confirmed. But to those casual viewers, it's a hot take. Palpatine let Mace Windu win so that Anakin could kill him to turn to the dark side.
Makes sense.
I don't think he did. I genuinely think Mace Windu bested him. Because Palpatine had no clue Anakin was coming. He was completely focused on surviving. Like, he had to kill 4 or 5 Jedi. And he only ended up...
did that in a matter of 10 seconds.
Oh, of course, because Sith speed in it. But at that point, like, he has to defend the Sith. He's all that there is. He's all there is. He put all of his eggs in Anakin's basket and was just getting these, like, rentals. Darth Maul was a rental. You know, Darth Maul really wasn't even a Sith Lord because he was his Sith assassin. It's kind of like calling Savage Opress a Sith Lord. He really wasn't. He was just going to be another assassin. Because Dooku, he had these contingency plans like Ventress, like Savage. If at any point Dooku and Savage killed the Emperor, Savage is dead. Dooku's chop sueying him. I think it was always meant to be Dooku was going to reign supreme by himself. He didn't really F with what it meant to be the Sith. He F'd with the power. So it'd be really cool to see what kind of empire we got from Dooku. I think eventually he'd pass on his teachings, but it'd have to be to someone that he trusted, like Asajj Ventress or somebody. But as far as Palpatine letting him win, I don't think he did. I think Mace and his Vapad were able to win the battle, truthfully. Because you have to think, Palpatine probably wasn't the best with facing someone of that nature. Like, Mace Windu is second in command in the Jedi. Palpatine lost to Yoda as well. You know, people say that Palpatine beat Yoda. No shot.
He did.
Yoda won.
No. Sidious had him retreating and going to a swamp that smelled like Dagobah. Literally planet intended. That's what I mean. Like, he made Mace literally win on purpose because he was literally brainwashing Anakin for the last 13 something years to groom him into, as Maul said, his next apprentice. And what did he need? That little push. He needed Palpatine to save his wife. And boom, there goes Mace. Now, in my opinion, that seems a little stupid because he's using Force lightning, and you know, people say, why didn't you just turn off the lightning bolts? And, you know, and then you wouldn't have to throw on skin lotion every night when you go to bed. Well, the fact was, he did let Mace best him, but he was so angry at the fact that he didn't know, like, if Anakin was going to show up or not. So, well, no, that was at the point that he was there when he used the Force lightning. But he was just so angry that he was just full on using lightning. You know what I mean? There was no stopping.
The way that bro slithered away from the lightsaber, he is such a bad guy. Is Palpatine the greatest bad guy ever?
He's up there with Thanos. Not Thanos, with Thrawn.
Are we talking just Star Wars, or are we talking like just like history.
Throughout.
Maybe.
He
was
has
like
to be
really
up there.
annoying. He was back all the time, but
Like you just count the charges for dude. Treason, treachery,
I just feel like he loses too
corruption,
much. He
genocide,
loses, like,
mass murder. 100%.
like the Death Star. He
Twice.
lost. Yep, twice. Convincing to kill his son, he lost. Even like in the original trilogy, he lost a lot as well. You know, like there's a lot of things he wanted Anakin to do that Anakin didn't do. You know.
100%.
Yeah.
Man, we could dive into Palpatine in his own episode, but for now, ladies and gents, we have our Galactic Dispatches, our mailbag segment, and with this, me and Fred will take turns reading it, and whoever has an answer, feel free to hit it with it. But the first question: do you think Anakin Skywalker would have turned to the dark side if Qui-Gon had survived and continued to mentor him instead of Obi-Wan?
That's a
This one we've actually talked about a lot, bro. And I think we've discussed this like so many times, like just amongst ourselves. I feel like I have an answer to this one already, and like MJ said, like, no, I don't think he goes to the dark side. I think Qui-Gon was much more prepared to like raise Anakin than Kenobi ever was. So yeah, for me, just a straight up no. He doesn't go to the dark side. He fulfills a prophecy, and Palpatine tries to find like a different student. Maybe at some point he persuades Ahsoka to join him. Maybe, you know. Maybe he gets someone else. Whoever he got, though, would not have been good enough to meet Anakin. And Anakin would have probably just brought the balance to the Force.
100%.
Qui-Gon lived. Yeah.
100%. With Qui-Gon, I think he trains Anakin perfectly. Genuinely. Now, Qui-Gon wasn't the greatest master in the world. But I think Anakin looked up to him so much because, like, dude, this is the guy that saved me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like, Anakin saves himself, but that bet doesn't happen if Qui-Gon doesn't stick his neck out for Anakin. Yeah. So I don't think he turns to the dark side in the slightest. I don't think he turns to the dark side in the slightest, but solid question. I could see a path because obviously Qui-Gon's still going to be associated with Dooku, and Dooku says that Qui-Gon would have been a wonderful ally. So you never know. You never know.
The thing is, I don't think Qui-Gon would join the Separatists because I think he's too smart to join them because he would have realized that they were being led by someone else aside from the Separatist like council. You know, he would have probably figured out that it was Palpatine doing it, you know? So.
Yeah. Palpatine feared Qui-Gon. He was the one Jedi that he was actually afraid of. And it wasn't like you don't look at the guy when you walk down the hallway. Like, he lost sleep over Qui-Gon. He was very
think
fearful.
about it this way, right? Yoda lived for hundreds of years. And Qui-Gon was still like a much wiser Jedi than Yoda will ever be. So, you know, like that's insane. That's how smart Qui-Gon was.
That's how I feel too. Like, by a mile. I've been debating with my friends about this. What do you feel? I'm having a mare. I've been debating with my friends about this. Do you think the Force is inherently good or evil, or is it all about how individuals use it? What's your guys' take?
I think there's two sides to the Force. So there's obviously the good side of it, and there's also the evil side of it. And I feel like one of the best representations we actually got of that ironically enough, was in the Rey movies.
Mhm.
Well, you know when Rey's like looking down the hole and she's like, "Oh, the dark side could take you over." I feel like that's such a good representation of it because like that is what it is. It's just a hole that you fall down into, you know, like the dark side of the Force.
Mhm.
It's just this like you slip up and all of a sudden you're going down this deep hole and you think you're gonna hit rock bottom, but you never do. You know, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. I think that's just like a good representation of the Force because there is like the good side of it and then there's like the bad side that you just continuously fall down into.
Mhm.
Because if you realize, like with Darth Vader, he never like he kept going down and down further. He never hit like a rock bottom of okay, I'm just at the epitome of evil, you know.
Mhm.
And he was able to find his way out of that darkness and save his son, you know. So in that aspect, I feel like the Force has good and evil parts to it. There's like the good side and there's the evil side, and then they're constantly struggling to keep it at a balance so that there's not all good or all evil. Because if there's all good, then there are consequences to that same way as all evil, you know. So,
Yeah. I can't put it any
Yeah.
better than that. No, we'll take
Yeah.
that 100%. Anything to say about that, MJ?
I think the Force is definitely neutral for sure. It's
Mhm.
all about how one uses it.
See, I think it's like I think it's good. I think the Force is good. But
Mhm.
just historically, how people have used the Force has been dark. Because it's in the verbiage, using the Force. You are manipulating the Force. Now,
Mhm.
it's like, are you stealing money for drugs or are you stealing money to buy food for your family? It's both. There's a crime being committed, but one's for obvious good, one's for obvious evil. With people, the usage of the Force, I guess, would be evil because there is a crime being committed, but I more so align with it's all about how individuals use it because there is a choice at hand. You can choose, do I want to do the evil or do I want to do the good? Because it's not their fault that they can manipulate the Force, that they do have an atonement with it. So I more align with it's all about how the individuals use it. Question number 3. What would happen if Count Dooku killed Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones? That's a really good question.
Yeah. If Dooku killed Obi-Wan.
If he killed Obi-Wan, I think he probably kills Anakin too. He didn't kill Obi-Wan out of respect to Qui-Gon.
Yeah. If he's strong enough to kill Obi-Wan in the first place, then he has to be strong enough to kill Anakin now. Like,
Yeah.
surely.
I mean, he disarmed Anakin.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, is like if he had killed Qui-Gon there, right? Do you think in any way Sidious would have tried to intercept there? You know?
No. Just like logically, I don't think so.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense, right? Because if Qui-Gon, I mean not Qui-Gon, sorry, if Dooku was strong enough to kill Obi-Wan, and he was also strong enough to kill Anakin, at that point Sidious would be like, okay, well I have my disciple, it's Dooku. It was gonna
Yep.
be Anakin, but I guess Dooku's stronger, so.
Yep. That's that's how I look at it as well.
Mhm.
Like if Dooku's reigning supreme, even though Dooku was like in his 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
so Palpatine probably would be working on a contingency plan for that.
Mhm.
Dooku would reign supreme. Do you got the next question, Fred?
Yeah, let's see.
Number 4.
This person says, one of my favorite characters is Ahsoka Tano. I've been thinking about her fate post Clone Wars. Do you believe she could have played a significant role in the events of the original trilogy, and if so, how? In the original trilogy, okay, that's
Like
a
4
pretty
through
interesting
6.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 through 6. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing that I'm upset about with her being in the Mandoverse is that where was she in 4 through 6? We don't have that context.
Yeah.
That's why
I don't think she knew Luke until Luke was knight. You know.
I want to know. I want to see where they met.
True.
Yeah.
Like we have so many questions, and I'm not a big Ahsoka fan. I have a Funko of her, 2 Funkos of her, and an action figure. But I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. She's just a crucial part of the lineage of this, because she's a Skywalker too. I've always considered Ahsoka a Skywalker. But I can see as a fan why you'd want those questions answered too. And just me as a Star Wars fan, I'd love to see those questions answered. I want to know so much more about Luke Skywalker. So much more. He's sick.
It is insane, like, considering Ahsoka felt, like, responsible for a lot of, like, what happened with Anakin, that she doesn't seem to be around that much for, like, you know, for Luke and Leia and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And surely Ahsoka knew that Luke and Leia were alive, right? Like, there's no way she didn't know.
I don't know. She didn't know Anakin was still alive when he was Vader.
That is true.
So it just depends on how close they are around it. Bail Organa, would he have told Ahsoka? Like, hey, this Padme's kid. I bet so. They were close. But then, why did he call Obi-Wan over Ahsoka? So he probably didn't tell her. Yeah, so she probably didn't know. She probably had no clue until they met. And like, hold up, your last name is Skywalker and you're a Jedi?
Thing is, though, that makes it even more crazy, though, right? Because, like, if you don't know that Luke exists, right, or Leia, and that she probably knows Leia exists, right? She knows Leia Organa.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know she's Leia Skywalker, right? So, in this scenario, where you don't even know that there's, like, a Luke around, there's a Leia around, what are you doing during the whole, like, Empire? You know, like, what's happening? Like, the Death Star is about to kill millions of people. Where's Ahsoka Tano?
Mm-hmm.
If she truly believes that there's, like, no one else around that could stop it, where is she? Why are her and, like, everyone else not, like, you know, on the front lines?
Mm-hmm.
That's, like, insane to me. We need more information about this so that we know, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, surely Ahsoka's the type to jump to, like, to battle, you know? So, I don't know, man. A lot of holes that need filling.
Yeah. Do you think that they should include Ahsoka? Like, because she was huge in the Clone Wars. Should she be in the Civil Wars?
If they gave me some kind of story about how she was on the front lines, but, like, in different parts, I would believe that, you know? It's like, yeah, no, she was actually working under General Organa, you know? And she was doing her thing, you know? Like, I would believe that, you know?
100%.
It's like, oh, yeah, Leia had doing stuff, like, in other places. And, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. You know, Leia had Luke on the front lines anyway, you know, with Han as well. So she also had, like, Ahsoka dealing with other matters. Like, that makes sense to me. But not even knowing what she was doing during that time? What if she's just goofing off with Sabine, you know? Like, her and Sabine are just, like, chilling somewhere. Like, okay, well, that makes no sense.
It's beautiful. It'd be really... It's like, why is no one at Lucasfilm figured that out?
Yeah.
Why is no one at Lucasfilm figured that out? But
even if the Ahsoka show could kind of fill me in on what she was doing at the time, that'd be cool, you know?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The cool thing about the potential of that would be just knowing and having that context. So when we watch the originals, we're like, oh shit, we know Ahsoka's here right now.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like these dudes are fighting on Hoth. Ahsoka's over on some other planet, you know, like doing something, you know, like whatever she's doing.
Next question. Shout out to the Ahsoka fan. With the rise of streaming services and anthology series, what era or character in the Star Wars universe would you like to be explored in a standalone series? Not counting the Civil War, because we've already pitched that to death. But
Yeah.
MJ or Fred, do you guys have a show that you would want to see?
A standalone TV show? Like, who would you even pick at this point? You know, we've had Boba Fett. We had old Boba Fett. We've had The Mandalorian, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ahsoka right now, you know, like, we've had Kenobi as well, although, to be fair, that's the Leia Organa show, bro. That's not the Kenobi series, bro. That's the Leia Organa show, man.
That's a Reva
you know?
show, goddamn.
Brothers,
Reva show. Okay.
rejoice. What would you do tomorrow if Disney just announced just a straight up thumbnail and an announcement with a date, and the title of the show is Starkiller?
And
The
pop off,
internet
dude.
would break.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The internet would break, and they can literally do the game's missions as episodes.
100%.
And a lot of it would be canonical. Like, you could write, that's Shakti's death.
Just all you got, you don't even have to nerf him. Literally, what you could do is just retcon all the people he's killed. Yes, he's this powerful, right? Like, he's literally killed Han. He's killed Chewie. He's killed Luke. He's killed Old Ben. He's killed Vader. He's killed Pow. The list goes on.
Yeah. He doesn't have to
Like-
kill those folks.
But he can be that damn powerful.
Add in,
Let me see a
add in
live action
characters
revolt.
like Dash and shit to take the place. Kyle Katarn, take the place. Kill him there, you know. Kill characters that don't show up.
You need somebody strong like Ahsoka, and I hate to say it, like the only person that could possibly, because right now Ahsoka, I'm gonna give a 5 second spoiler warning because it's a spoiler.
Bro, it's been 6 months. You're good.
It's been 6 months, you guys. All right, here we go. Ahsoka just peaked, and she basically did the whole Gandalf the Grey into Gandalf the White, but we only got the scratch of the surface of what she's capable of. Meaning, like, they just given her the cow power, where you touch an object and you can see its memories or whatever. Like, that's not something as powerful as, like, say, Force Repulse, but in the Jedi aspect, it is, because it's not destructive, it's knowledge. But I would like, yeah, I honestly think, like, that's one thing I wanted to see ever in live action, or just in general. Like, Ahsoka versus Starkiller, both apprentices of Anakin, both versions, light and dark, would be insane to all of us as Star Wars fans.
Yeah. I think I have two as far as like standalone like series. One is Cal Kestis. I'd love to see a Cal Kestis show. That'd be awesome. Despite having not played the games, I've like watched like the gameplay through, and I love the character that is Cal Kestis. So I'd love to see a standalone series with him. Kind of like fighting the Inquisitors, meeting Marin, you know, stuff like that. And then as far as like my second one, I mean, you see all the purple lightsaber pop up, you know? You see the mask. Jedi Knight Reverend starring Trevor Jackson. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I think I could give Revan a go.
I mean, now that you have the short hair, you definitely can, so.
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen, though. Give it a month, it's canceled. You'd have better chances with Mara Jade coming to live action.
What do you mean?
He's talking about the fact that like the game got canceled.
Oh man, God, they'd murder me too. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy never existed."
Yeah,
this guy never existed. I'd love to play Revan, bro. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Shout out my homies, man. I'm a huge fan of the expanded universe, and I'm curious if you could canonize one non-canon story, what would it be and why? And how might it enrich the current canon?
Starkiller.
I'll say Dash. I'll say Dash. I'll say Dash Rendar.
I'll say Cal.
Kyle.
canon character.
Wait,
Oh,
Cal
plus
who? This? He's canon.
I'll test this. He
Yeah,
is canon? I thought
yeah.
Yeah, he's canon.
Nah, his games are canon.
Oh, okay, hell yeah. Well, I'm chilling. I don't need nobody on the phone.
I'm Big Jim.
Cal is canon. Let's go.
I'd say Mara
Yeah.
Jade too, man. I really would say Mara Jade.
Yeah, it's about time they made Mara Jade canon,
Because
bro. Like,
that
come on,
can literally be the reason why he runs off to the island.
It's 2023. You know, an actress has a shot at playing Mara Jade. It's just whether they push the button or not.
Yeah.
Just cast a
Give me
nice.
Anya Taylor-Joy as Mara Jade, dude.
No. It has to be like a no-name lady. It has to be her first role. I don't.
And it has to be a banger of a flick.
Bro, hot take. I'm sorry, but I hate big name actors in Star Wars.
Yep, because it just
Yeah.
ruins the part.
It takes you out of it. I don't need to see Jack Black
I did.
in Star Wars, man.
I did.
What's another one?
Same
Bill
with,
Burr at first
was
was
fine.
tough, but
He was great.
he played a good role. He's a good actor.
Yeah. It's all about how the role is portrayed, honestly.
Give me Adam Sandler as Star Killer, dude.
No, keep Adam Sandler out of Star Wars, bro. It's like
I
George
could see
Lucas said,
Adam Sandler
man.
playing a Gungan, dude.
Darth Vader's like, you have to feel the Force, and he's like, I'm trying it. Give me a minute.
No, we can't have that, man.
Fucking Adam Sandler's just standing there next to Leia as Alderaan gets blown up. You want to go home? Go back to your home.
Michael Jackson in the peak of his like popularity, he not the peak, but like he wanted to play Jar Jar, but George was like, I can't have you do that. You're too popular.
He wanted to be in everything. He wanted to be Agent M in Men in Black, and even the dude was like, no.
I wanted to make a joke there and say that he also wanted to be in, but we're recording, so
Yeah.
having
Oh
a
my
good time. Do you think a Sith-centric storyline could be compelling as the traditional Jedi-focused narratives? And which Sith Lord would you like to see explored in depth?
I think there's like, yeah, there's a bunch of like Sith fans, bro. They exist everywhere. It would be a hit. easily.
I personally think the OR would kick off with like F1 race car boosters, and also like the fact that Sith centric, dude. Evil just goes viral for some reason. When evil wins, it's good, and I don't know why.
100%.
The thing is that I can't see Disney doing it, you know, because like
Yeah,
Disney would
so-
never want to like drop something where it's like, oh yeah, the evil guys like win, you know.
The good guy always has to win.
Yeah.
I feel
I mean,
like
look at the 7 to 9 trilogy. The evil guys never really won, you know. Like the good guys always like kind of escaped with their lives. And the good guy, like the evil guys, they didn't win because you know they got to get away. So
Finn or Poe should have died. Changed my mind.
AlsoTeeko should have died. Changed my mind. He can't.
unreal. I think Sith would be sick. It would be sick. Let's see, we'll do one more question because I don't want to keep you guys all night. I know you guys are on the East Coast. So one more question. Which character do you believe had the most impact on the overall Star Wars saga and why?
Gotta be Luke. Every person that's ever talked about Star Wars ever has talked about Luke Skywalker at one point in their life. So
No, that's
a lot
fair.
of people feel connected to Luke Skywalker. He is like Mark Hamill is Star Wars, man. You know. So it's like Luke. Luke is just the most influential character. Like some would argue Darth Vader, but I think like Luke just takes the cake for like. You can't talk about Star Wars and not talk about Luke Skywalker, man. Even to this day, they're still trying to put Luke Skywalker and stuff, man.
Yep. I'd say it's like it's really hard because there's a lot that had a lot of impactfulness on the saga itself. Like Anakin for Vader's story in the prequels as a whole, Ahsoka from the Clone Wars to now in the shows.
Yeah.
You know, a lot. It's a lot.
Luke,
You know who's
the
like
goat.
underrated as well? I feel like R2 and C3P are super underrated because they're in like everything, you know? They're like in every single thing. They're
My
like just a
my
staple of Star Wars.
my father told me when I was young that the story of Star Wars is actually told from those two droids. But as we go on and we watch everything, 3PO had his mind wiped. So literally the whole story is actually told through R2
Yeah.
from technically not R2's POV, but you get the
It
point.
could be because that's why characters are depicted a certain way, because at the end of the day you have to realize this is a story that's being told, and history is always told by the winner, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Maybe that's why things are so exaggerated in Star Wars.
Possibly. It could be.
That's a pretty cool thing about. But, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for episode 1 of season 2, episode 20. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Has been your boy, AlsoTeeko. Van Seal is not here with us, but we will try and get him for next week. And huge shout out to my boys, Fred and MJ, for hanging out, talking some Star Wars. If you guys would like to drop a like, subscribe, leave us a rating, and download us wherever you get your podcasts. For the Archives podcast crew, have a wonderful night, and may the Force be with you.